Can I get your initial reaction to tonight's result?
Tonight is a fantastic result for us here in the North East. I mean, I think what this result demonstrates is it confirms what we've seen in the local elections, where we've gotten lots of seconds. We picked up 2 seats in Hartlepool. It confirms that UKIP is the official opposition to Labour in this region. The UKIP party, we are the official opposition to Labour in the North East now, especially after this result with Jonathan getting elected tonight.
And how have you found campaigning yourself? What did you feel were the main issues that the voting public were concerned with?
Well, for me, this election campaign has been about 2 issues. It's about, who governs Britain and who controls our borders. And I think we're the only party that have actually been saying to people, look, we don't want the EU to govern us anymore. And we want to actually get control of our borders back and get control of our immigration policy. So, I think that's reflected in the results tonight, that people have actually come and supported us. And I think it is a massive, historic breakthrough for us here to win a seat in the North East. And again, it shows that we are the real opposition to Labour.
And do you think that opposition will continue going into the general election? Will you be as strong there as you have been tonight?
Yes, I think so. I think you can see the Conservatives are losing that position as being the opposition. They've lost their seat tonight here in the North East region. They were very bad thirds and fourths in the local elections, really, especially in places like Hartlepool, where I'm standing at the general election next year. In Sunderland, the Conservatives were absolutely nowhere. Because I think now people can see in the north of England, and especially here in the North East, there's really only 2 parties in the race. It's either Labour or it's UKIP.
And you mentioned briefly there that you'll be standing yourself in Hartlepool.
Right.
So is that a seat that you're definitely hoping to win for UKIP? And are Labour definitely your main opposition there?
Yes, I would say so. I think it's probably going to develop into a 2-horse race over this next year. And, from the local election results the other night, we won 2 seats and we came second in the other 7. So I think, we are the main challengers to Labour in Hartlepool, and I'm going to work flat out over the next year, and I hope we can win the seat for UKIP for sure.
And just doing my research, I also I came across the fact that you're an amateur wrestler. So is that something that you might have to put on the back burner if you're to take the Hartlepool seat?
Yes, there is a video, obviously, that some of our political opponents have put together, which is an out-of-context video of my wrestling character saying some things. So, I've dealt with that. I've said everything I'm going to say about that to the media. It's out of context. It's a very spiteful video in my view. And, it's got nothing to do with politics, really. Of course, we're not mindless automatons, politicians. We do other things, I work at Tesco 5 days of the week. I run a wrestling promotion and perform as a character on there. I'm also very passionate and determined about politics. So I think a lot of people, from the feedback and reaction that I've had, a lot of people understand that, in politics it's a dirty game and people are going to try and smear you no matter what you do. So if that's the worst thing that can come up against me, well, I'm not that bad of a person.
And on that note, just finally, how do you feel the other parties have reacted to UKIP's resurgence, really, in these elections?
I think they are very worried about UKIP because I think the Labour Party are finally realising that we don't just take votes off the Tories. We take votes off Labour, we take votes off the Liberal Democrats, and I think you're going to see a lot of seats in the north, especially in Hartlepool and across the rest of the north of England, where UKIP are going to be the challenger at the general election. If you think about it, the Labour and the Conservative Party have always won national elections, whether they're general elections, local elections, or European elections. If we have topped the poll tonight, and I don't know if we have, but if we have topped the poll and won these European elections tonight, that is a historic moment for British politics. And I think it's going to develop into the situation that we're going to move from a 3-party system to a 4-party system. And UKIP is going to be a real threat, and we are going to win seats next year at the general election.